This night turned into a real nightmare for Russian air defense. Several strategic regions of the aggressor country and occupied Crimea came under a massive combined attack at once. While the Russian Ministry of Defense is, as usual, reporting that everything has been shot down, in the Krasnodar region the sky is filled with black smoke from a large fire at yet another oil refinery. Meanwhile, in occupied Sevastopol, ambulances are rushing to a critically important facility that was previously considered untouchable. TWAPS 5-0. Why is the Russian oil and gas giant burning again, despite all the claims of ultra-reliable protection? Where exactly did the scarce Storm Shadow cruise missiles hit in Sevastopol? And how did the Russian Pantsir air defense system, instead of intercepting the target, end up firing at its own central bank? My name is Evgeny Serov, and let's get started. Friends, the scale of today's Bavovna is truly astonishing. But before we dive into the details of the strikes on military headquarters, please write in the comments what you think is more effective for wearing down the enemy: systematic drone attacks on fuel infrastructure in the Russian rear, or targeted missile strikes on command posts in Crimea. Let's discuss all of this, and I'm interested in your opinion. Now let's get back to the main point. Let's start with the Krasnodar region. Last night, the port city of Tuapse was once again shaken by powerful explosions. Local residents began posting videos en masse on social media in which you can clearly hear the distinctive buzzing of fixed-wing drones, the desperate gunfire of Russian air defenses, and finally the dull, powerful sounds of impacts, after which the sky above the city was lit up by a bright glow. OSINT analysts from the Supernova Plus channel, after studying the first footage from the scene, officially confirmed a major fire has been recorded in Tuapse at one of the key facilities of the oil refinery. Specifically, this concerns the Tuapse oil refinery, which belongs to the company Rosneft. This is not just an ordinary plant. It is a giant, a production complex that operates in close coordination with the marine terminal. It is through this hub that the occupiers supply a significant portion of their southern military group with fuel. The operational headquarters of Krasnodar Krai, of course, tried to reassure the public by claiming that drone debris had fallen, saying everything was shot down, and that the fire started because of some fragments. However, judging by the scale of the smoke rising over the Tuapse municipal district, the debris hit the target precisely. The occupation authorities even admitted that the blast wave damaged the windows in one apartment building and 5 private houses. But while Ukrainian kamikaze drones were operating in Kubán, a much more serious drama unfolded in occupied Crimea, involving the use of Western high-precision weaponry. According to monitoring channels, particularly Krymsky Veter, the first explosions in Sevastopol occurred at around 5 o'clock in the morning. The epicenter of the events was the area around Cape Fiolant. Eyewitnesses counted at least 4 powerful explosions, after which thick black smoke began to rapidly rise in the area of Sapun Mountain and Sevastopol Bay. And this is where we get to the most interesting part. Insiders report a direct hit on the headquarters building of the Russian Black Sea Fleet's Air Force. It is located on Gogol Street, and this is critically important. Let me remind you that after the defense forces successfully destroyed the main headquarters of the Black Sea Fleet in the city center, the occupiers were forced to move their main command bodies here, to the Air Force headquarters building. Now this main command post has also been eliminated or seriously damaged. At the moment, a massive fire has been recorded there, and part of Gogol Street is completely closed to civilian traffic. Ambulances and fire crews are arriving en masse at the scene. Even the local Gauleiter, Mikhail Razvozhayev, was forced to acknowledge the use of serious weaponry. He officially confirmed that the city was subjected to a combined attack, and that, according to preliminary data, the armed forces of Ukraine used Storm Shadow cruise missiles. When cruise missiles of this class break through the layered defenses of Sevastopol, it is a huge slap in the face to the entire Russian air defense system. However, the most comical incident, if one can use such a word in a military context, actually occurred during the Russians' attempt to repel this very attack. Local residents report that a Russian Pantsir S-1 air defense missile struck the building of the local branch of the Central Bank of Russia, located at 1 Mikhail Zygunsky Street, near Lastovaya Square. Yes, a Russian Pantsir S-1 missile hit it. How did this happen, you might ask? The Russian system tried to intercept an aerial target at low altitude, but due to a technical malfunction or poor maintenance, the Pantsir missile simply veered off course and flew over the rooftops, crashing into the building of its own financial institution. This is the kind of precision work done by the Kremlin's sky defenders. At the same time, the Ministry of Defense of the aggressor country continued to live in a parallel reality in its morning report. They proudly declared that overnight their valiant troops had allegedly intercepted and destroyed as many as 140 UAVs. And according to them, the geography covered the Belgorod, Volgograd, Voronezh, Kursk, Oryol, Tula regions, Krasnodar Krai, and Crimea. Of course, the ministry's report doesn't mention a single word about the strike on the Air Force headquarters or the burning oil refinery. Those are their conclusions. But what conclusions can we draw? First of all, Russia's fuel infrastructure, especially in the south, remains completely vulnerable to our strikes. The Tuapse oil refinery is hit regularly, which significantly complicates the enemy's logistics. Secondly, relocating command posts in Sevastopol does not save the Russian high command. Ukrainian intelligence knows exactly where the new decision-making centers are located. And Storm Shadow missiles prove that there are no unreachable targets for them. Be sure to like this video and share your thoughts on this situation in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My name is Yevhen Serov. This is the Glavrid channel, and we'll see you in the next video.